Predator heads to the pits. When Monster Wars continues, Kodiak will face Carolina Crusher.
No, Kodiak. Where I come from, I'd use a backhoe to kill your kind. And then I'd fire up the Barbie, make a nice red sauce, add paprika and garlic. And I got myself a real feast. I'm declaring this race the last supper. And there'll be no trace of you after I'm through.
Welcome back to Monster Wars. Today from Pueblo, Colorado, as we round out race number 5 of round 1. Kodiak will face Carolina Crusher. Kodiak with Mark Bendler aboard, qualified 7th. Gary Porter took his Carolina Crusher to 3rd in qualifying. And now it's side by side. Kodiak, Mark Bendler aboard, owner of a 4x4 shop up in Wisconsin. Gary Porter also owns a 4x4 shop. His is in North Carolina. So both have a lot of experience and have a lot of fans around the country watching these guys run each week on Monster Wars. Carolina Crusher and Mark Bendler's Kodiak ready to go. Side by side, green light. Kodiak actually gets a whole shot. Carolina Crusher comes from behind. It's Carolina Crusher. Bendler takes a bad hop on the finish. Carolina Crusher wins it.
That's what I call finger-licking good. Kodiak meat is about as good as it gets, next to liver. Does anyone else want to make dinner reservations with me? I'm a bit full, but I always have room for dessert.
It was an even race at the start, and then Carolina Crusher got down early. Between the cars, he opened up a wide lead on the straightaway. He wins it. Mark Bendler's Kodiak had a good enough time to come back as a fast loser, but when he landed, sparks flew everywhere. What happened? Jim Davidson's with him.
Work, stay doing what you're doing, but when the Kodiak came down, it looked like the 4th of July under there. A lot of sparks.
Yeah, I snapped the Heim joint on the steering cylinder, nothing major. I just took a real hard hit in that one lane. I noticed when Fred made his pass, same thing happened. I don't know if that's going to be a factor to play here tonight or not.
How long to fix it?
It just takes about 10 minutes. We'll be ready. No problem.
Round 1 is over, but before those big wheels roll their way into round 2, let's take a look at who stays and who goes. Although there's no award for having the fastest time in round 1, Predator nonetheless zooms away with the bragging rights at just over 5 seconds. But only a second separates him from the slowest of the winners, Gravedigger. We're bound to see some close finishes the rest of the day. Each of the winners comes away with an extra 10 points, and they automatically advance to round 2, along with our 3 fastest losing trucks. Kodiak, Invader, and Equalizer pick up 5 extra points for being second best in their races. But now they want to avenge their losses and emerge victorious in round 2. We'll see what happens in a few moments. We're just over halfway through the season, and now's as good a time as any for a closer look at those daring men inside these flying machines. It's our mid-season update on the athletes and their current point standings. To bring you the news from around the world of Monster Wars, that is, here's Jim Davidson.
This is Jim Davidson with the United States Hot Rod Association Newsreel, bringing you an update on the overall point standings for the Monster Truck World Championship. Starting off in 10th place is Rookie of the Year Paul Schaefer and Monster Patrol, holding at 95 points. What will it take for this ex-mudbogger from Portage, Indiana to move ahead?
This wing's going to make me win, and the fastest way there is straight across the cars, and if you're flying through the air, you lose too much time. I want to jump at the cars. I want to fly straight across the cars. I don't want to fly up in the air.
Next, out of Eagle, Wisconsin, is the Bear from the North, Kodiak, driven by Mark Bendler. With 97 points, he's in 9th place, only 2 points ahead of Monster Patrol, and so far it's been a rough year for this 8-year veteran.
Unfortunately for us in the past, it's been pretty expensive weekends. There's been $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 weekends, and that definitely hurts the pocketbook.
Moving on to some tropical thunder. Wayne Smozanik out of Jupiter, Florida is holding 8th place with no sweat. He's living large at 147 points.
Everybody builds their own trucks. The fact that it can do what it can do, I guess, is the satisfaction within itself. Knowing the truck is as fast as it is because you made it that way.
Ray Perkowski and the Invader barely eked by Tropical Thunder to hold 7th place at 150 points. This St. Louis, Missouri man seems to be having a lot of trouble keeping all 4 wheels on the ground.
It's the 3rd time I rolled it. You know, you don't get hurt. The feeling would be like on a roller coaster. You're at the top, and there's nothing you can do because you're going to the bottom. You get like a knot in your stomach and a sigh of relief when it's over.
And hailing in from Granite City, Illinois is the grand poobah of monster truck racing, Jack Woolman Sr. Although he's sitting in 6th place with 285 points, a far cry from number 1, he's no stranger to winning.
This is what it's like to be a winner. This is one night's winnings. This is the second night's check. And of course, this is the next night for winning the points championship. There's only one thing wrong with them. They're a little bit large to stand in line with at the bank.
Okay, that's it for now, but I'll be back later on in the program to give you the rest of the overall points in the race for the Monster Truck World Championship. This is Jim Davidson with the USHRA Newsreel.
That's half of the Monster Wars top 10 list. We'll get up close and personal with the 5 leading monster truck drivers in the world a little later in the show. But first, the U.S. Hot Rod Association's Monster Wars continues with round 2 action. Taurus has his sights set on eliminating Equalizer from today's competition. Invaders Ray Perkowski takes on world champion Fred Schaefer and Barefoot. A round 1 rematch pits Kodiak against Carolina Crusher. Crusher was victorious the first time around. And Gravedigger will try to bury Predator. Dennis Anderson and Alan Pizzo going head-to-head in that matchup. It's all coming up next, so don't go away.
Welcome back to Monster Wars in Pueblo. Jim Davidson, what's going on in the pits?
All the drivers are back here in the pits right now. First of all, redialing because of the elements. Not much traction at the starting line. And second of all, we're mile-high country. They can't get enough oxygen into these engines, so they're trying to figure out the right combination between gas and oxygen. We're in mile-high country. Let's see how they do.
Everybody loves the Mighty Monsters. Even the very young applaud. And who are they applauding for? Gravedigger. Dennis Anderson's truck out for round number 2. Now, you didn't see him in the first round. He got a bye run. That means he had no competition, so he automatically moved on to number 2. But he has competition this time. Competition in the form of a big black Chevy. The Chevy called Predator.
Gravedigger. We meet once again. And this pet is peeved and ready to cremate you! Ah!
Ashes are a man's best friend, Predator. Especially those particles originating from a feline foe like you.
Let's see who has the last laugh. Gravedigger, huh? You'll never last with me. Never!
No one can suppress me. I will always manage to stay many steps above.
As they come up to stage, the unique design on the side of Gravedigger cost about $2,500 and takes 7 days to do. Predator's unique body style is all fiberglass. It's pretty expensive, too, about $2,000. 10,000 pounds, 1,800 horses behind Predator. 10,000 pounds, 1,400 horses behind Digger. Let's go racing. Round number 2. Gravedigger and Predator. On the other end of the track, the finish line. The first one there moves on to the semifinals. A great start for Predator. Gravedigger cannot catch him. Predator wins it. Predator took out the Gravedigger. They met once before this year, and now Predator has evened it up. Gravedigger 1 win, Predator 1 win.
Gravedigger? Thought it would pay off if he rode me off, but history doesn't lie. I have always been successful at killing. And there's no reason this is going to change now. Unless, of course, I've licked everyone, and there's no one else to torment. Sounds perfect.